Have you ever worked at a salon where you were hired as a hairdresser, but your only job was to fold towels?
Not just fold towels. It was to clean anything that
And
could
everything.
If you weren't constantly
It was like
cleaning,
Abby
what were we paying you for?
It was like Abby from Broad City.
Yeah.
Where she would just clean pubes.
Yeah.
That literally, like when you first start working in a salon.
That's what it feels like.
That's what, you're the cleaner. And growing up like in the early 2000s and working in these salons that were trained from the 90s, it was very much like, okay, we're going to hire you. And then your job is to fold the towels, clean up after everybody, eat shit, and die.
Yeah.
That was the full
We need to do
job
a whole episode on apprenticeships because it's just BS.
Well,
so
that was the whole job.
Coming.
That was the whole job description. And I understand that we all have trauma from that.
Not just in our industry. I think there's trauma just from like working with different generations and not knowing how to work with each other has created trauma, which now what's happened, we all preach community, 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 yet it's missing still.
Let's clarify.
Yeah.
We preach community and then
every man for himself.
But also we live in a society where you're supposed to become successful and work hard on your own, but we do it together, but you're still it's gaslighting.
Yeah.
It's economic, capitalistic gaslighting. And so one of the things that I've seen in probably the past 7 years are hairdressers who are doing like the silent quitting.
Mm-hmm. The quiet quitting, yeah.
Quiet quitting, whatever the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
Hairdressers don't do anything quietly, so it probably doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not true in our industry. It's like loud quitting.
It's different than what is in corporate. Like quiet quitting is like, the true term is like I've stopped working or giving my full effort. In our industry, we've started collecting clients. We've started, you know what I mean?
It's a little bit different. Yeah. But I think it is quiet quitting in the sense of I'm only going to do what I get paid to do, which is fine.
Yeah.
Which is totally
Honestly.
fine. But don't tell me you're a team player.
Yeah.
And don't tell me that
just own it.
Yeah, just be like, I literally am going to do the bare minimum and I'm going to go home, which is absolutely fine. And me as a business owner, I get to decide if I want your ass on my team.
Well, that's exactly what we've done at DTH. We're like, every hairdresser is responsible for themselves.
Yeah.
So then the community aspect is everyone's just supporting each other's growth, not, can you pick up the shift? Can you do this? Can you?
Like a restaurant.
Yeah, like.
No,
So many salons perform as restaurants.
But it's
obnoxious.
But I have to be honest to all the hairdressers out there, as a fellow hairdresser, I don't want to fold towels either.
Yeah.
I know it's the bane of our existence, but the minute someone says they're not going to do it, I have lost all human respect.
Yeah. Well, because there's always one that does it, and then there's resentment, and then it's just like, if you used them, you fold up. Like, it should be.
If you are participating in the building, then you need to participate in the building.
Yeah.
And if you are going to use towels, then you need to be part of taking care of them. If you are going to use color and you're going to just like waste it, you can't do it. You got to be part of making sure that we don't waste. If you are going to participate in a business, you have to participate fully.
No one is thinking about someone else, yet they're constantly saying, I want to be a part of a community. Well, you're in one. Your salon is a community, but you're not thinking.
No, everybody wants to be part of a community so that they can be taken care of.
Yeah.
But the minute they realize that community means I have to take care of other people too, they're like, no, I have trauma and my parents abandoned me and I can't take care of others because my therapist told me I had ADHD.
Yeah.
Like that's literally the shit that people are saying. We hear it all the time.
I have trauma. I have ADHD.
Oh my God, everyone has fucking trauma.
I still love helping you. That is my trauma response, I help too much.
I hate helping people and I'm a goddamn coach. And the thing I love the least is lending a helping hand.
Yeah. But you do it.
I do it. And I enjoy it when people take that help and do something with it.
Yeah.
But I think, what's funny about this episode to us as hairdressers is we've gotten to a place where if I'm not getting paid for it, I'm not doing it.
Which there is some, yes to that.
There's a lot of yes to that. There are a lot of people that have been taken advantage of for a long
sure.
time. But that does not mean every situation where you are participating as an employee or as someone that's on a team is you being
An asshole.
Yeah, like you're not being taken advantage by every person because you're doing something that may look similar to what you did before where you were being taken advantage
You want to know
of.
what cracks me up?
And by cracks you up, you mean grind your gears?
Yeah. This one actually makes me giggle because I've seen where hairstylists will be like, oh my God, I was taken advantage of there, or they always wanted me to do towels or they wanted me to clean or they want to do this. So what's the response? I'm going to become an independent.
I'm gonna work for myself where I do all of it myself.
Where I do all of it myself. And the reason they left is because they had
Idiots.
to do something. It's ridiculous. I also think that it comes to a point too where you just have to like, as a business owner, if someone is going to treat the rest of the team like that, like they just don't matter and they're above, I'm like, you're not.
Gotta go.
You gotta go.
I will say that probably 90% of the people that we coach, I love made up percentages. I make them up all the time. But it's about 90% of the people. Does 100% of you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. 90% of the people that we coach that have salons, that have employees, this conversation comes up
I can't
on a regular
get style. I would say
basis.
you and I only work with salon owners, and I don't think I've ever worked with a salon owner that has not said, I can't. How do I get my team to do towels?
And they pay us a lot of money for that answer.
And I say, get a towel service.
Exactly. So on one hand, hairdressers grow the fuck up and participate.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand,
and this is all ages.
On the
just
other hand,
for anyone thinking, oh, it's those 20-year-old. No, it's you too, and you're 50.
But I also know hairdressers that will go do towels so they can avoid doing hair.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
So there's like
it goes opposite.
The towels are a real radical problem.
They're the
gonna
problem.
be canceled.
Towels need to be canceled, I think, and we need to get rid of them.
This is something that we have offered. This is one piece of advice that I think, it's so funny that this is a DTH approach.
Well, our approaches are solutions for industry problems, and it doesn't.
No, but like full-on solution. Not like
it solves the problem.
You should have a meeting where you all get together and decide who's going to do the towels.
We decide and agree, and we all sign contracts that say we will do towels.
Or my favorite is when a salon owner goes, I don't want to treat adults like children. I'm like, well, then why do you have a chores list in the back?
A whiteboard with like, Sarah's going to do towels and Jeffrey's going to do this.
And what do they call them? Duties.
Duties.
And you know what's fun?
It's absolute shit. It's true.
Oh my God. But the goddamn towels, who knew?
Yeah.
They would cause so much upheaval. But the situation can be solved by hiring someone to do them.
Yeah.
It's the same when people are like, no one cleans up after themselves. Hire someone to clean this. Yeah. There are people in the world that clean for a living. This is what they do. And
You're
you
actually
hire
providing
them.
jobs, which is incredible.
Exactly.
And then we're like, I know it seems absolutely insane.
I have to say this. Are you going to forget if I say this?
No.
I'm going to forget if you say it.
Go.
Did I forget it?
I think I forgot mine too.
Damn it. I shouldn't have interrupted you. What a straight white man thing to do.
Okay, wait, I remember. It seems absolutely ridiculous to hire someone to do something that is part of a job description. But the reality is, if one of your stylists have downtime...
They don't have job descriptions.
I know, right? I'm being nice, okay?
You're assuming the people listening all have job descriptions. I guarantee you 90%.
I 100% agree with that.
90% of the people listening, they think they know what their job is as a hairdresser, but there is no job description.
And you know why we know that? Because every salon owner, we actually sit down, especially if they're in partnerships, and we help them solidify their roles. And no one knows what their actual job is, and they own the salon. All right, anyways, back to my point. You think it's crazy to actually hire a company to do towels. One, they're folded beautifully. Mm-hmm. They're actually washed.
They're clean.
They're clean. They are clean.
They're crisp.
And I will say, because the world has changed, if my stylists have downtime, I want them to take a break.
A smoke break.
I want them to take a break. Yes, if you listen to the last episode,
We
but I
want you
want
to
them
take
to
a
take a
smoke
break,
break.
or I want them on their phones. Why? Because what's on their phones? They're talking to clients.
Porn.
They're engaging with people, or they are doing social media to get more people. So that's
They're
what
not doing, and the funny thing, they're not doing any of those things.
yeah. Well, that's what I do. I disagree with you. I don't 100% agree with that.
Speaking of porn, I used to work at a salon where the manager would watch porn behind.
I did not know where you were going with this, and my
Would
heart
watch
just
porn
sunk.
behind the desk, like,
And we're paying that person.
and we're
You
walking
can't
around.
find money for towel service,
And do you want
but
to
you're
know?
paying front desk to watch porn.
And do you want to know how we found out? He accidentally connected the computer to Bluetooth.
Stop talking. I can't.
And we heard it.
I don't deal well with embarrassment, and this is.
And when he was fired, he could not grasp what he had done wrong.
Shocker.
Anyways, my point was.
Did we have a point?
My point was just do the towels.
Yeah.
But again, one of the things that we've seen so many times, this is what I was going to say earlier. I have asked people, if you had to pay, how much money would you pay to get your team to do the towels? I go, how much money would you pay? I'd pay like $100 a week if they would just, great, we're going to take that $100 a week, and we're going to pay someone to do the towels. I have not met a group of people that are more okay with suffering than salon owners.
Well, oh my God. And also the whole do the towels thing, comes from a very dinosaur way of thinking, an old industry way of thinking of you have to be busy every fucking second that you're working. And if you're not,
you need to look busy.
And if you, remember that? People, I guarantee you, somewhere in this country, some boss recently, today, I can hear it as I say it. Look busy. Look alive.
Busy. Look busy. What are you doing? Why are you on your phone?
Clients, I remember I had a student that told me that because we transitioned to time-based pricing, so the salon was not losing money and all the stylists were making more money, but it wasn't as busy.
Oh, this is good.
It wasn't as busy. And so a client, an older client that had been going there for a long time, because she's used to seeing the staff around the salon literally be running around like there was a fire.
Susan likes seeing the staff running around her like chickens with their head cut off. And so when Susan saw people relaxing into their newly found wealth, she was not going to stand for it.
Yeah, and she was like, is it slow? Which then triggered my Gen X student, because she came from a working environment and belief systems of you need to be busy all the fucking time. And
not wealthy, just busy.
Just busy, not wealthy. And I had to remind her of the facts. Okay, let's look at the numbers. Are you profiting? More so than I ever have. Are you hiring? More so than I ever have. Is your staff happy? More so than they've ever been. Are they making money? More so, And when I had to sit down and like put her back in a factual place, and then she was like, fuck Susan.
Yeah.
That's what it came down to.
You know what, Susan, go somewhere else. But it is true. There is this, I grew up with a baby boomer dad who, he thinks, by the way, my dad thinks every method we teach is insane.
Oh, I'm sure.
Insane. He goes, how does anyone make money with the things you teach them? I go, Dad, not only do they make more money, they work less.
They're in the $1 Million Club.
And yeah, they have $1 million business. They can actually spend time with their family. They have health insurance. And they're not killing themselves.
Sick.
And guess what?
Yeah.
They're a hairdresser. And my dad's mind is just like, my dad would be the guy that's like, but they don't even have a degree. They have a degree of respect.
But who folds the towels?
That would be my dad. Who folds the towels then? We hire someone to. Oh my God. My dad can't stand it when I hire an Uber to take me somewhere.
Let me tell you.
You got two legs.
The epitome of a community is helping small businesses, helping local businesses, helping each other. So by hiring other businesses.
Well, if you're a boomer, you only help someone if they're suffering. So that you can.
We're all suffering.
If you're not suffering, people want you to start suffering so they can help you.
Yeah.
But if you're doing well,
you're the
devil.
You're the devil. You're the devil. both
You're
made
part
the
of the
same face.
You're part of the Illuminati.
Yeah,
You know,
basically.
you obviously are part of the Illuminati.
You stole it.
You stole it.
You stole
It's
the
not
happiness,
yours.
the joy, the money.
You didn't work as hard as they did. So how the hell are you doing this?
Mm-hmm.
What was this podcast about? What was the topic? No, I'm seriously asking.
I forgot.
What was the topic?
I don't know. We just got in a rant.
What was the topic? I hope the audience is yelling at us. It was this. What was the topic? Even our team.
Towels.
Towels!